So this is the hardest type of radical equation that you'll be facing in this unit. It's one where we have not just one, but two radicals that we have to deal with. And not only that, it has another number floating around in it. And that -1 over here, that's very significant, because what that means is I can't just, here, let me rephrase this. Imagine that -1 wasn't there. Okay, it's a 0. Then you could add one of these to both sides, and you just get this simple equation right here, like this. And then you square both sides, and it's not too bad. But the -1 prevents you from doing that. So we're going to have to be careful in how we handle this. First step, as always, is isolate the radical. And you just have to pick which radical you're going to isolate first. We're going to have to go through this in stages. I like to deal with the more complicated one first. So let's do that. Square root of 49 minus 24 delta equals, I'm going to add this one to the other side, equals 3 radicals 6 minus 2 delta minus 1. Okay, and now let's square both sides. I just want to move this over a little bit. Okay, so we square both sides to get rid of one of the radicals. We're not going to get rid of both of them. In fact, it's going to look worse before it looks better. So just hang on. So this squared in the exponent cancels out the radical on that side. That's nice. And we get a simple 49 minus 24 delta over here on the left. The right side is more complicated, because if you think about what this actually is, this is 3 times the radical 6 2 delta minus 1, and it's squared. Remember that squared term? It means times itself. So that's another 3 radical 6 minus 2 delta minus 1. Okay, and that, I'm just going to skip through this a little more quickly than in the past. That's going to be 9 times 6 minus 2 delta minus 6 square root of 6 minus 2 delta plus 1. Okay, and the left side hasn't changed. Now, if I lost you on that last step, this is essentially foiling. Okay, that's what I did there to get down to here. And if you need to, pause the video, make sure all those terms are correct and you understand how those happened. And let's keep going here. We have 49 minus 24 delta equals, what's 9 times 6? That's 54. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 1, I'm going to get that over there. And let's keep this 6 over to that side. 6 minus 2 delta. And what I want to do at this stage is collect everything. All of these, get everything that's not a radical sign over to one side. So I'm isolating this radical right here. That's my goal now. I want to isolate this radical. Okay, another radical sign. And we're going to keep on isolating radicals until we're done. In this case, this should be the last step of isolating. So, what do we have? Well, I like to look at how many deltas I'm talking about here. This is -6 delta, right? It was -24 plus 18. And I've got a total of 55, right? 54 plus 1 is 55. And if I move that over to the other side, it's going to give me -6. So -6 minus 6 delta equals -6 times 6 minus 2 delta. So this is a treat, right? I have -6's everywhere. I can just divide both sides of the equation by -6 to help isolate the radical on the right side. And this is going to be equal to 6 minus 2 delta. And the left side is going to be equal to 1 plus delta. Okay, not so bad. Now we're going to square both sides and see where that puts us. Okay, like this. So 1 plus delta squared is going to be 1 plus 2 delta plus delta squared. Remember, this is foiling. And on the other side, that square in the exponent cancels out the radical sign. So what we get is 6 minus 2 delta. And now it's a quadratic equation. All the radicals are gone. That's really great. I just want to collect all the terms together. So I'm going to rewrite this one. That's delta squared plus 4 delta, right? I'm bringing this guy over. And I have a 1 minus 6 makes -5. Okay, so that's me just combining all the like terms together on one side. And now, let's see. I can factor this. You can use the big X if you want, but I'm going to blow through that a little more quickly here. This is going to be delta plus 5 and delta minus 1 equals 0. And the two solutions are negative 5 and positive 1. All right, so the reason I have this equation written down again here is because we're not done yet. Okay, we still have more to do. You have to check and see whether these solutions actually work. So let's start with this one. Let's say delta equals negative 5. What do we get? We get the square root of 49 minus 24 times negative 5. Okay, minus 3 times the square root of 6 minus 2 times negative 5 equals negative 1. Is that correct? That's what we're checking. So, well, this is 49. See, 24 times 5 is 120, and they're both negative, so that's plus 120. And this is minus 3 times the square root of, well, negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. Okay, so this becomes the square root of 169 minus 3 times the square root of 16 equals negative 1. Square root of 169 is 13. Square root of 16 is 4. So here's what this is saying. 13 minus 12 is negative 1. 13 minus 12 is 1. So looks like we found our first extraneous solution. So this one, where is it? We can cross out negative 5. That's not going to work. And let's move on to checking delta equals 1. At least this one's a little easier. It's going to be 49 minus 24 times 1. That was 1, right? Not negative 1. Where am I? Yes. Okay. And then it's minus 3. 6 minus 2 times 1 equals negative 1. If you're wondering where those numbers were coming from, remember, I'm just taking this equation and plugging delta equals 1 in for every variable. So now we just work through this, and this is going to be 49 minus 24 minus 3 times 6 minus 2 equals negative 1. And that's going to be the square root of 25 minus 3 times the square root of 4 equals negative 1, which is 5 minus 3 times 2 equals negative 1, which is 5 minus 6 equals negative 1, and that works. Hooray! So that means we have one solution. Delta equals 1 is our single solution to this equation.